Dutch Darts Championship. Only 4 men left standing. Nog 4 zijn er over. We beginnen met de man uit Nederland. De UK Open Champion van dit jaar. The Freeze, Danny Noppert. En dan zijn tegenstander nu al bezig aan zijn beste Euro-Tour toernooi ooit. Tweevoudig winnaar op de Pro Tour. Geef hem een hartelijk welkom. The Riot, calan, rydz.
Semi-final time here at the Dutch Darts Championship. 4 players left in the field. 4 players left in the field vying for the title of Dutch Darts Champion of 2022. A little later we'll see Andrew Gilding take on Michael Smith, the bully boy, the only surviving seeded player left in the field. But first up, a matchup featuring Danny Noppert, the UK Open champion, playing in his 5th European Tour semi-final, and Calan Rydz playing in his 1st European Tour semi-final. Of those previous 4 semi-finals for Danny Noppert, he's lost 3. The exception was in Graz recently, where he went all the way to the final, only to lose out to Michael van Gerwen. He is the Dutch number 2. He is a man of enormous pedigree and talent. A man who picked up his first PDC title a little over, or just under 4 years ago now. And a man who has once again impressed this weekend, in particular with his performances today. He overcame Peter Wright, the world champion, 6-5. Boris Kirchmar worked hard in that one as well, 6-5. 6-5 yesterday against Schindler. The one exception, that bageling of Ian Konteman in his opening match when he ran out a very convincing 6-0 winner. Calan Rydz, though, has taken care of business very nicely, especially today, beating Michael van Gerwen and beating Simon Whitlock very impressively indeed. It's all set up very nicely. There could be a big story in the making, and there could be a big chapter in either of these 2 players' careers. Jacques Nulat alongside me, Rob Malarkey, for our first semi-final here in Zwolle for the Dutch Darts Championship.
Yeah, I've had a look at their head-to-head, and it promises to be a tasty encounter if you go on that head-to-head. It looks a bit one-sided because they've met 5 times, and it has been 5 times Danny Noppert who has won. But never was the gap any closer than 1. Never any wider than 1. 4 6-5s at Players' Championships and 1 3-2 in sets at the World Championship.
And given the glut of 6-5s that I mentioned already for Danny Noppert this weekend, perhaps it would be no surprise if this one were to go, well, it can't be 6-5 because it's first to 7th, but it may well go to a 13th and deciding leg. The closest that Calan's been run this weekend was that match against MVG, 6-4 the score in that one. So yeah, just to remind you, first to 7 now in these semi-finals. The final itself, first to 8 legs.
36.
Yeah, and Calan has said to me a couple of times in the post-match interviews, I'm not playing really well. And to be honest, if you look at the averages, he probably hasn't. But the most important thing, and I think a lot of dart players need to remember this, is you need to win matches. It don't matter how, you just need to win.
20 for tops here for Noppert, and it would be a very early break of throw as well.
50.
Well, he'll be hopeful of returning.
48.
Rydz looking at 148 to salvage this one somehow. Well, he's got the first treble 18 and he's got the second. Socks off.
On the first leg.
148 checkout for Calan Rydz. I said Danny Noppert might be hopeful of returning, but that hope has been well and truly extinguished. And Calan Rydz, well, it's a hold of throw, but it might feel like a lot more than that. 148 checkout just to set the ball rolling very nicely. Which is a little bit not in keeping with what Calan Rydz was doing against Whitlock. Calan Rydz had 4 visits of 140 or higher against Simon Whitlock, and he's just rattled in a 148 checkout in the very first leg of the semi-final. And all 4 of those 140s came on the Whitlock throw as well. So it's not been explosive, but it's been enough.
Yeah, and his finishing been good against Whitlock. He had 50% on the doubles. So that's always a good sign.
Well, as I mentioned, Danny Noppert playing in his 5th European Tour semi-final. He's lost 3 of the previous 4, but he is now only one of 3 players from the Netherlands to have reached 5 or more European Tour semi-finals. MVG, of course, with a half century. Jelle Claassen is the other. And now Danny Noppert has joined a very illustrious club. Even Barney's not on that list.
65.
Yeah, he never used to play very many European Tour events.
Yeah, he skipped a lot of them, didn't he? In a year, well, the years 20. Stemming back from 2018 all the way back to
14, maybe something like that. I think he only played in the first 2 years, something like that. It was a different landscape back then because
on the second
while Noppert equals on 1 with a 105 of his own, back then, if you were playing really well in the television tournaments, which he usually would do, then you didn't need to travel to the European events because the prize money wasn't as heavy as it is now.
Yeah. Well, I must sing your praises, Jack, actually, because at the very start of play today, we had a quick chat about who you thought might go all the way, and you plumped for the sole surviving Dutch player in the field, Danny Noppert, and he's still there, of course, and he's got work to do here, but it was a good shout.
I'm sticking to my guns.
Especially because that was before the match with Peter Wright as well, but yeah, he's delivered for the crowd so far today.
58.
Now you're always going to encounter some bumps on your way to a European Tour victory. It's very rare that someone wins it outright without getting into any spot of bother. So maybe for Noppert, he's survived a few scares here and there, and maybe this is his day. But mind you, there's 3 other players that have played really well to get here as well.
81.
So the story for Calan Rydz in the previous match against Whitlock was the fact that he did a little bit more on the Whitlock throw.
42. Danny require 127.
And the trouble is here, he might well have to, because he's not doing a great deal on his own throw. Down to 240 after 15 darts. Noppert already within range of a shootout here.
55.
Yeah, yet Noppert ain't happy either with that visit.
100.
You see this a bit more often on the European Tour, I think. It's especially with the players that aren't so used to getting to semi-finals, as Van Gerwen, for instance. it's really difficult to balance your energy during the day.
Yeah, and it's something that Calan Rydz is going to have to come to terms with pretty quickly, actually.
Danny to throw first.
I mean, he's got youth on his side, I suppose. I'm not saying Danny Noppert's an old man, but what I'm saying is that I suppose he's well equipped in that respect, in that he shouldn't really be feeling it as maybe as much as, say, Moving Cook would have been, or indeed as much as Andrew Gilding might be.
Yep.
But it's all about how you manage your time in between the matches and how you find that balance between hitting the practice board and just giving it a little bit of a break. But it is a very long day. I mean, these players would have arrived here before the start of play at 1 o'clock. They would have arrived here maybe 10, 11 o'clock this morning. And then if you're still involved in the final, that won't draw to a close until maybe 11 o'clock at night as well.
134.
It looks at the moment as if Noppert has got a good hold on this match. He looks in control, even that leg he lost, where he missed one dart at a double and Rydz took out the 148. It almost seems, if you look at the scoring of Rydz so far in this match, he's on 64.91 with his first 9 darts.
I'm surprised it's that low, actually. I mean, I knew it would be far inferior to Noppert's, but there you go. It is what it is, and Danny Noppert has backed up that break of throw in the third leg with a hold of throw in the fourth.
Yeah, but that is not a gap, that's a Grand Canyon between the 62 and 116. 54 points of difference per visit.
And that, I mean, against a major title winner, I mean, that is, as you say, that's... You're chasing the game from the word go, effectively. It's like taking on Usain Bolt in a 100-metre dash and you're giving him a 60-metre start.
58.
And as you say, okay, it was a great check-out in the opener for 148, but could so easily have found himself 4-0 down here.
Well, he's got 2 scores of 130 and more, and one of them was that 148.
Yeah, and like I say, he only had 4 in the entirety of the match with Whitlock, so he's going to have to find some big numbers from somewhere,
65.
because you can't keep getting away with that time and time again.
Noppert's got the initiative in this one as well already, and this is Rydz's leg.
Well, win or lose for Calan Rydz today, this will be a heck of an experience for him, to go with all the other experiences that he's managed to get under his belt at the tender age of 23. Just 40 scored there as well for Rydz, and already he sensed maybe that the writing could be on the wall here. Are you going to translate, Jack, or should we keep it clean?
It's a song from a children's program, and they've put Danny Noppert's name in it, so that's why everyone knows the song.
96.
It goes well, it scans really well.
Danny require 146.
It's from PP Longstocking. You must know this song.
I don't actually. I was gonna. The only Dutch kids TV that I know is.
I think it's Swedish.
Oh, is it? Right, okay. But the only Dutch one I know, my kids are big fan. Oh, they were when they were younger. Okido.
58.
Okido. Yeah, all right.
You know that?
Calan
Yeah.
require 158.
158 for Rydz. Again, to keep him in this match, and he can do it again. He does it again.
Calan Rydz.
Well,
6th leg, it's Danny to throw first.
that is simply stunning from Calan Rydz. A 148 checkout, a 158 checkout in a match in which he's barely registered anything significant over 130.
140.
3 visits of 130 plus, and 2 of those have been huge, gigantic checkouts.
And Noppert by now must be thinking on that stage,
41.
what's happening here? He can't hit the dartboard, yet he hits me with 2 ton plus finishes.
Well, I'll say it again. I mean, he can't keep getting away with this, surely. I mean, it's a great tactic. It's a wonderful strategy and a great game plan if you're not playing well. If you can suddenly produce a moment of magic from out of nowhere, then what a great thing to be able to fall back on.
Yeah, we just saw the finishes per leg. They're all pretty decent, to be honest. The 2 ton pluses by Rydz, but Noppert's done a 105, a 72 and an 81.
100.
Well,
27.
I don't think he'll produce any big finishes in this one. Certainly not from 3.53 with Noppert on 81 here. 62 remaining. Just having a look to see where Rydz is. He's well adrift, Danny. You may as well just set this one. Oh, he strayed the wrong side. So 62 minus 33 is 29. He's having to think about it himself.
Where does he want to go? He wants to go double 10.
Yeah.
Wants to go double 10.
61.
Yeah, no massive damage done with Rydz all adrift at sea on 3.53. And once again, he can't find the treble. 2.96 now for Rydz after 12 darts. Double 10 here for 4-2. And that is a 13, despite that slip up, that's a 13 darter.
Yeah, he must feel like he should have been 6-0 or 5-1 up. It's only 4-2 still. Rydz is still not out of this one.
And you just wonder, I mean, he surely has to find an improvement from somewhere. I don't know how, but let's suspect that he can and that he does. I would say, I would venture as well that he's not out of this yet. Hold a throw here for 4-3, break for 4-4. All of a sudden, very different match. He's only one break down effectively. But you always feel that Danny Noppert has one of those up his sleeve. 17 180s for Danny Noppert in this tournament so far. He's weighed in with 17 of the 200 that we've witnessed so far this weekend. It's almost 10% from one man.
Yeah.
Simon Whitlock has weighed in with his fair share, but he'll weigh in with no more. And in the blink of an eye, it seems as well, Noppert down to a finish of 164 in this one as well.
129. Danny require 164.
The balloon's back out, so the security will have to step in here. In the meantime, Danny Noppert looking at 164. Bullseye.
170.
Just a single 3, so he's left himself 47.
Calan require 94.
And Rydz again is striking distance. He's just clinging on, isn't he? If he can do this one as well. He went to ball weight, didn't hit it. Treble 13 maybe, or is he going 90s? Went 19s.
54. Danny require 47.
Well, Noppert for a break of throw. 2 darts at tops for a 5-2 lead. And he's got that control back again. Just when it looks as though Rydz might just steal another one from under the nose of Danny Noppert.
I think the security has gotten the balloon.
Yeah. I think another balloon might be forthcoming shortly.
60.
But first we've got to cheer a little.
Well, they're certainly in the mood, aren't they, the fans here? Party spirit alive and well in Zwolle. And little wonder, because Danny Noppert is 2 legs away from a second European Tour final of his career, the second of this year as well. Another 180. Why not, Danny?
180.
Takes his tally to 5 for the match. That front 9 for Calan Rydz has just not improved at all. He might drag it up a little bit here with this particular leg, but the gap is still 45 points between the pair.
123.
And what a terrific recovery that was from Danny Noppert as well. And once more into position quickly on his own throw. What can Rydz leave himself
96.
here?
Danny require 138.
Well, 148 again. Don't rule it out. That would be a nice combination.
64 left, so treble 8 will do him nicely. Treble 16 not too bad either.
Calan require 140.
Yeah, most roads are leading to Rome so far for Danny Noppert here. Well, scuppered by that first dart. It was way off where it wanted to be.
Danny requires 60.
And Danny Noppert for a 6-2 lead, with Rydz waiting on 101. And Rydz will not get the opportunity for another ton plus checkout, because Danny Noppert has pounced all over that one. And he's now just one leg away. And you would have to say it's not quite a procession, but it's been a good ride so far for Danny Noppert.
Yeah, he's played well in the Netherlands before. Don't forget, his first major he won was the Finder Darts Masters in the Netherlands in his BDO days. He's reached the final of the Dutch Open, which is no mean feat to do. And he's reached the final of the World Series Finals in Amsterdam.
Yeah, which he lost to Johnny Clayton, of course.
98.
No, he lost to Van Gerwen, I think. Yeah, it was Dimitri last year who lost to Clayton, I think.
Yes, you're right. But yeah, but this would be something else to add to his repertoire.
Yeah, he loves playing in front of the Dutch crowd.
46.
Once again, look at that. He's just never been able to drag up that front nine average, has he?
No.
A visit of 46 there for Calan Rydz, and already Noppert has the darts in this one. He's got a slender advantage, and he's looking to add to it here significantly. And once again, down to a finish first. After 9 darts, he's left himself 1-2-1. And he could well finish with a flourish as well.
Danny require 121.
He's got a lot of wiggle room even here as well. 96. Double 18 for the match, and for a passage into the semi-final, into the final I should say. Once again, as was the case in Austria just a few weeks ago, Danny Noppert with a really stylish performance against Calan Rydz, who in the end never really got going in that one. 2 from 2 on his doubles, a 148 and a 158 checkout, but the front 9 just left a lot to be desired, and Danny Noppert, a very convincing winner with an average of 103 in the process as well. Noppert the first man through to the final, where he will face either Andrew Gilding or the number 9 seed, Michael Smith, and they're on stage next.